all good people.
Yep.
Okay. All right, family. So today we gather here to celebrate the life, love, memories of our beloved Antonio Royal, son, brother, nephew, cousin,
Uncle.
uncle. That's right. Great uncle. That's right.
And great uncle.
And friends and family. So as we come together to honor his journey, we first give honor to our Creator and the ancestors, both near and far. These ancestors happen to be near. Some of them are further away. We invite the fathers of our fathers and the mothers of our mothers to bear witness to what we have come here today to do. And that is to bring Antonio home. So let us take a moment to center ourselves, bow our heads, and offer a prayer. To our Creator, we humbly ask you to embrace and guide us today. Grant us the strength to find solace in one another, to support us as we remember Antonio with fondness and love. Although Tonio's physical presence was not nearly long enough for us, his life was undoubtedly filled with love, joy, and indelible memories. Amen.
Amen.
And let us take this time to talk about those memories. Let's just share something. You can share anything, a joke, a memory, anything that reminds you of Antonio.
I remember the first time my mom was called Grandma. It was Tonio,
Grandma.
and we all laughed.
And because I didn't know I was a grandma.
Yeah, she didn't realize it at the time that this one was born,
Oh.
and it was her. It was like a couple months after she was born. My mom said something crazy, and then my brother was like, "Yeah, Grandma." Everyone just started laughing. And that's the kind of guy he was.
Yeah.
Oh, especially when she would walk out the room after, chastising us or telling us something. He'd stand up like this. And then when she'd walk back in, he'd sit back down like he ain't doing
Okay.
Oh my God. That man was so full of laugh.
He was.
He always made everybody laugh.
Always.
And
Especially when we needed it.
Yes. And he loved his niece. And if he was here, this one wouldn't have no, she would have no problems. She would have no issues. But she got her panda paw and her great uncle in spirit. And every time she looks at me, and this is for real, every time she looks at me, just looks at me, I'm looking at him. To be honest, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I know it may sound crazy, but I just see him through her.
I see him too.
Although my brother's home,
That's right. That's right.
we got a new one.
So in that scene in Wakanda Forever, Wakanda, when the guy comes out and he says, "Auntie," what's his name, the crazy one?
Yeah.
No, my nephew
Killmonger.
wasn't that. No, he's not that guy. But he used to say it just like that, like "Auntie," and then whatever, like "Auntie." You see what they doing on him? I said, "You see what they doing in the?" He was a news junkie, just like his brother. And I would come even as he was in the hospital, and the first thing he would say is, "Auntie." So every time I see that, I think of that.
Yeah.
I think of that with him. Anybody else?
I got a good memory of my uncle. It's of course always good things to say about him. He was my favorite. I loved my uncle to death. But while he was in the hospital, he randomly texted me and was like, "Hey, my favorite girl." And I never knew he felt that way about me. And then shortly after he passed. So it just was kind of like, wow.
Right.
That's something I'm very fond of. I
Yeah.
remember a lot.
Beautiful.
There goes the yellow butterfly.
Beautiful. So who was in the car with you when they taught you to drive? Oh, was it AJ?
So,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It's just, these are my first big brothers, 4 cousins, from the Monopoly table to learning how to shoot crap to just learning the streets of LA. Period. I just never looked at them as cousins. They always just been older brothers.
Yeah. Well, there's a tradition in African society where we speak the names of people who have influenced our lives, right? We call them into our being. And so now we want to invite the ancestors and those who are pillars amongst us as we get ready to give Tonio back to the Creator. So for me, I call upon the strength of Harriet Tubman. And everyone's going to say a name. It can be somebody in your family. It can be a relative, or it can be just a powerful being that you want to invite into the space with their spirit. So I call first Harriet Tubman. We'll start and we'll just go down. And you can say the name of an ancestor. So you're going to call the name.
Malcolm.
My great grandmother, my nana.
Your Nana. What's your Nana's name?
Ruby.
Ruby. Because by speaking their name, we keep them alive. Me?
My Pampal,
Doyle Reed.
Doyle Reed.
Ashe.
I say.
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. Ashe.
My mom said Clifford, and I say Stanley. My grandfather,
Your
Stanley Lee.
Stanley Lee. Ashe.
I told her.
My Uncle Kenneth. He was just cool, just like Tonio.
Kenneth Royal.
Kenneth
I
Royal.
remember your uncle. Kenneth Royal. Ashe.
And I'll say Evelyn Glass, my grandma.
Evelyn Glass. Ashe.
I say my uncle, Earl Evans.
Earl Evans. Ashe. For Uncle Earl. So we invite them to be in this space with us. And now let's just take a moment of silence for the incredible, the most awesome nephew, Antonio Royal. So now what we want to do, oh, you have it, is light a candle in our heat. And so Donna, I'm going to have you, because out of one came two with the twins. So you will hold this candle, and this is your candle, and you will represent your uncle. So, we will light this candle as a memory, so that when we think of light, we think of love, we think of Tonio. It's eternal, and lights are eternal. Yes, they extinguish, but they never, ever, ever extinguish in our hearts and in our minds. So we will light a candle for the firstborn. Oh, who came out first?
No,
Yeah, AJ. For the first twin. Because identical twins are 99% identical. And so we have with us 99% of Tonio. light a candle for Tonio.
Which his niece has
And-
his DNA.
That's right.
See, they are identical twins.
Okay.
Did
And
they look?
hold
Yep.
it up. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. That's okay. So that's fine to extinguish these. That's what we wanted. So the
his will be
eternal
the
light
last.
is Tonio. So, thank you all.
Thank you all.
And so when you go home and you light your candle, just remember, his spirit is going to remain with us forever. And it will naturally blow out the way. All right, John. So what we're going to do is open the sacred remains, and we will put it into the earth. John, much as you are what?
There's one baby girl.
Okay. So. No, just the that. Take it over to.
Yeah, we
So we'll leave him with that. Because we want to put him first. Yeah.
Was that deep?